Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have a free-for-all for you, and it will be Skaven, Empire, Beastmen over here. You can see I've got some shenanigans going, and High Elves. So I went for a full Vanguard army, except for my Brave Shaman of Wild, and I brought this guy just for his 2 breath screams. I think he doesn't have much, but he's definitely the MVP of this game. He's got Vile Tide and Bray Scream, so we'll be trying to use that to our advantage and using him as like one of the few armor-piercing units in my entire roster, other than like Khazrak and my Centaurs with great weapons. So over here, I've got kind of like my main line, 5 Gore Herd with Khazrak to support. Over in the back, I have my flanking force, and these are the Ungor Herd, and I brought these Ungor Herd because they're stocked, so they can get up behind the High Elves and attack them without them knowing, essentially, because they're hidden right now, so they can sneak up and attack him in the rear, and then he won't really have any time to prepare for it, because he'll be focused on my main Gore line over there. I do have 2 archers over here, and then spread out, I do have 3 Centaurs with great weapons and some Chaos Warhounds. In retrospect, probably should have kept some Centaurs with great weapons over here just to protect Khazrak, because you can see this High Elf player does have quite the air squad. He's got a, looks like a Sun Dragon Prince, and a Noble on an Eagle, and a Flame Spire Phoenix. Couple of archers, and then a huge main line of just elite infantry, Sword Masters of Hoeth, Phoenix Guard, and then some spears. And then over here you can see I've got that full surround going. Over here you can see this Empire player ready to capitalize on our chaos. 3 flagellants up front, some swordsmen, 4 crossbows, some spearmen with shields in the back, Knights of the Blazing Sun, and a General of the Empire on a Pegasus. He's also got, looks like a Witch Hunter who, wow, look at that camouflage. Barely even see him. And a Light Wizard here. The Skaven on the exact opposite side of the battlefield. Over here he's got some Skaven slaves, Clan Knight spears, Clan Knight shields. Looks like a huge line of Storm Vermin and Warp Fire Throwers and Plague Monk Sensor Bears and Rat Ogres. He does have 1 Plague Claw Catapult. Here are the 3 Warp Fire Throwers and the Death Glow Bombardiers, and then he does have a Queek over here. So this gets started real quick, so I'll just get going. So my Gores are immediately going to charge in, and he's immediately going to like kind of countercharge here with his gigantic air squad. And you can see the Empire player moving towards us. Definitely not something I expected / wanted, but you can see here we're kind of getting these initial charges in the back, charging my Centaurs with great weapons into these Sword Masters early on, and I'm trying to get that rear charge with the Gore Herd. And then over here, oh man, I missed the charge, but you can see Khazrak is getting gooned. I'm like trying to protect him with my infantry. I'm sending some Centaurs over, and you can see he is cycle charging with the Noble. And then I'm busy microing everything else, so that guy took off, and I guess I had clicked him, so my Centaurs with great weapons are like struggling to get in there. So Khazrak, you can see, almost dead, so definitely some misplays there. You can see my Warhounds already starting to rout. I countercharged over here just to stall these flagellants, and then you can see coming in the back line with all the Ungors, and then, oh man, look how much damage this Prince has taken from the Centaurs with great weapons. So you can see him already down to half health. Khazrak did manage to get out, and I'm just keeping him safe and nearby, and you can see my Brave Shamans in here too, just to make sure the leadership stays solid. But you can see getting that Prince, definitely a boon, because man, do these Ungor Herd go fast, and so they will never let any air stuff get off once you get them in the fight. But they are my armor-piercing damage, and there's a lot of armor-piercing infantry over here, so we'll kind of slow it down. You can see some Earth Blood coming down on these guys, which is not good for me. I'm slowly kind of cutting through a lot of this stuff, and I'm bringing my Centaurs with great weapons around because there's some Knights of the Blazing Sun coming in, which is not good. So these Ungor Raiders are essentially going to die, but that's okay. At least they're not recharging my main line. Yeah, you can see my poor Centaurs over here are dying, and then I sacrifice some Warhounds to this Empire blob. You can see here's Skaven player slowly marching over as I finish off the High Elf stuff, and you can see I'm taking a like huge spike early on, but I don't think it's gonna. You know, there's a lot of people coming, so who knows how long I will last. You can see my Centaurs coming around to try and deal with these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Khazrak You can see getting bombed. Nice use of that Flame Spire. And then Doom Wheel's coming over as well. But you can see my Gore Herd are fighting against these Phoenix Guard. I did bring my Armor-Piercing Chariot over here to help deal with these Sword Masters. Here you can see I did get that nice charge off on these guys. And they will get crushed by the Centaurs with Great Weapons. Especially if they don't get their charge off. And if you've seen over here, you can see all this damage. I've just been casting Vile Tides and Brace Screams on this Flagellant core. Until you can see it's taken a ton of damage just because they're so lightly armored. But you can see I really don't have much left. I've got my Centaurs with Great Weapons here dealing with this Flamespire's Phoenix. Kazrak is running off the field. Doomwheel is shooting at some of my dudes. I do have my Ungor Raiders back, and they are firing into the back of these Swordmasters. And yeah, you can see just this huge blob in there. You can see a Vile Tide. Look how much damage that does to the low armored units of the Flagellants. Just so much damage. And so that is definitely helping to push my score here up. And I'm going to need it because there's a lot of Skaven coming, and there's this huge Empire army. So over here you can see just my Bray Shaman trying to get as much value as possible. But I am going to be pulling out because I don't want anything to do with those Phoenix Guard. Anything at all. And you can see nice job getting those Swordmasters here into my Ungor Raiders, stopping that fire. And you can see it looks like the Gore Herd that survived from my main engagement are over here just kind of chomping through some Flagellants. Trying their best. They will definitely lose just because they're pretty low model count. See here, I did manage to get those Swordmasters out the field through persistent spells and shooting, and you know, Gore Herd have that high melee attack, so they'll at least get their hits through, regardless of how little damage it does. And you can see Kazrak coming back, rallying. Good dude. And then, but you can see over here my Gore Herd, they're so close to this line, they're just going to rout right off. And this huge chunk of crossbowmen are now available to fire, and I'm getting kind of crossfired by the remaining archers. So you can see my Bray Shaman is running around over here. Going to try and silence them as these lines engage. One very tattered Empire force going up against a full health Skaven force, but you can see the Skaven player only has 1,100 points. But I've somehow skyrocketed to 1,400. Mostly, I think, from those spells. So you can see I not only took out the High Elves, but I also took out the majority of this Empire line, which is a lot of cash, or a lot of points. Interesting spell there from the Light Wizard, I think shooting at maybe these Poison Wind Globadiers. But you can see my Bray Shaman just run around and keep causing havoc. You can see these guys have engaged in the forest. Not really the happiest place to fight the Skaven, but I guess it'll work. See the Rat Ogres running wild. Oh man, dude, Skaven are just my favorite. But sadly, they don't have the Vanguard potential of the Beastmen. There you can see another Vile Tide coming off, hitting, what is that? A whole unit of Clan Rat Spears, Halberdiers, Flagellants, and Clan Rat with shields. So I got a ton of points from that one. And then over here you can see my Bray Shaman is doing these Poison Wind Globadiers, and their armor really won't protect them here because of the armor-piercing nature of this Bray Shaman. And their kind of low model count unit will just allow me to just cut through them pretty quick. There you can see, look at that Warfire throw. It's just like having a decent little arc of fire. You can see the Doom Wheel kind of just wreaking havoc in the back line. And over here, Rat Ogres as well. So nice by the Skaven player to kind of come up here and start scavenging, but there really just wasn't enough points for him left. You can see my Ungor Raiders still earning me points in this game, even with just a couple units with some spells and an Ungor Raider and one Chariot. I've jumped like 2k. You can see I'm just making sure to run down these guys, trying to solidify my lead. But at this point, unless the Empire player kills this like entirety of the Skaven force, he doesn't really have too much of a chance. And you can see my Centaurs coming in here, charging these Death Globe Bombardiers in the back. So just trying to farm points. You can see some Warhounds over here. I tried to get them through to these Clan Rat Spears or Plague Monk Sensor Bearers, because I figured that's where they would earn the most points. So I charged them over here into the back of these guys. And there you can see the High Elf player is finally out. I did, before I charged these guys over here, I did take out that Plague Claw catapult, so that's some extra free cash. And then you can see these Warfire Throwers just annihilated what was left of my Ungor Raiders. And at this point, there's just too much of a lead here, even with the Survivor bonus. So you can see my Bray Shaman just trying to get any points that he can. Clan Rat's shields in here, and just a lot of Warp Fire Throwers. You can see my last Vile Tide coming up over here. I tossed those Empire soldiers away. I did some work on those Skaven slave spears. Then over here you can see my one chariot is actually kind of dealing with this whole blob of people. You can see over there they're routing. Yeah, attacked in the rear, damage sustained, frightened by enemy unit. Huh. Maybe just fear? Yeah. Because it's not terrified. So that fear definitely helps. Giant pig is terrifying, I guess. So you can see here, look how much points that chariot has racked up. It is just incredible. And then you can see my Ungor Raiders being super persistent. And we're just going to fast forward here. Essentially, it's just me running down these poor Poison Wind Glowdeers. And the Skaven just finishing off the Witch Hunter here, surrounded by heretics. It's definitely not a fight he's going to enjoy. You can see over here some Clan Rats coming to finish me off. And I figured that I would win this fight, but no. My leadership is too haggard. Everybody's going to flee. You can see over here that I'm dealing with these Warp Fire Throwers. And then I'm going to turn and charge at these Clan Rat Spears, knowing that it's pretty much over. I've got as much points as I can. And it's actually going to rout these guys, which is incredible. It just shows the power of fear versus the Skaven. And I'm not even going to make it back. I'm going to try to cast one more Bray Scream on these Storm Vermin, but I am going to rout before I get there. Figured I should have routed much sooner. But you can see here, 243 kills on that Bray Shaman. So definitely doing a ton of work with those breath and explosion spells. And then over here you can see I did not get very many kills, but the Hiles didn't really bring that many people. Bring that much stuff. So a lot of my kills, are on the small units of these elite infantry and dragons. And then over here, yeah, you can see these Knights of the Blazing Sun doing well. Crossbowmen, not so much. Flagellants just getting exploded into bajillion pieces. But you can see just what this elite infantry did to me without my armor-piercing damage. And then, yeah, you can see the Skaven player just not able to get in there soon enough. And then when he did, he was just kind of surrounded and trying to deal with the Empire. And then there was this annoying Bray Shaman just running around causing mayhem. But anyways, I thought that was a fun all Vanguard free-for-all. Yeah, and thanks so much for watching, guys. That's that.